curious, who is that person that is in your life that you know that likes to make things special? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Could be somebody at the office, somebody in your neighborhood, somebody in your family. Somebody makes something really special. For instance, I'll start. The guy across the street from me in the neighborhood that we just moved into over a year ago, his name's Tom. Tom does special things. He'll help every neighbor. Like I needed to borrow a drill the other day. Here you go. He had the right drill bit thing and everything that I needed. He'll loan out all of his equipment. He even has cornhole tournaments, so you don't even have to know how to play cornhole just to show up in his backyard and have fun with neighbors. It's really great.
Didn't he fix your lawnmower at one point?
On his own, he's like, hey, listen, I'm tired of seeing you struggle with this thing. And he took it out of our hands and fixed the thing.
That is incredible. So my mom does these kinds of things. It's different than what Tom does, but my mom for every holiday, we had nothing growing up, very poor. And she would scrimp and save her money to make every holiday, every birthday just extra special. And so I have all these great memories. And even today for my daughter who's married and lives, apart from us, my mom will make these mason jar covers. So for Easter, they either have little bunnies on them or jelly beans, and you just set them around your house. She wears different vests for each holiday, and it's something we tease her about, but it just makes things so much more special.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe there's somebody in your life that you know that does something like that, just makes things special. Who is it? Brag on them today, would you? Here's the number. It's 800-447-7234.
His morning crew.
Oh, I can see it now. The next time you have the coffee shop, if you do the coffee shop thing, you'll be sitting down and you're typing away and somebody comes up and says, wow, is that like a new notebook computer? You go, no, it's my iPad Air with a really fancy magic keyboard. Would you like to know the time? Let me look at my Apple Watch. I know it sounds so bougie, but you're going to win that. Not just you, but you and another person, because it's a double Mac pack for the first day giveaway on His Radio's Friend Racer coming up. Hi, it's Rob and Liz.
Yeah, I think that is so cool. I mean, you are going to be teched out. And I know maybe, you know what, as a mom, I'm thinking I could give the Apple Watch to Hayden, my son. I could give the iPad Air to Luke, my other son. I mean, that's what I would do with it.
And as a dad and a techie guy,
yeah,
I would just keep it for myself and show it off to the kids.
But you are the major tech guy. But, no matter what you choose to do with the double Mac pack, it's yours to do as you wish. And you know what? It's part of our friend raiser, our first day giveaway that's coming up on April 19th. And I don't know if you know this or not, maybe you just stumbled upon His radio, but we are a listener-supported radio station. So that's how we stay on the air, is through your gifts. And you don't have to wait until that first day, until April 19th to get involved.
Yeah, I want you to win this thing. Really, you and one more person. Love for you to win this. One way you can do that, this is just one way. You can pre-register. And to pre-register, you give your gift early for Friend Racer, which is, again, April 19th. Here's how you do it. Go online to hisradio.com, click Give Now. You can give through the My HISRadio app if you listen to the app, which is free on Google Play and the App Store, or simplify it and just text the word give to 800-447-7234. And then you'll automatically be registered for that double.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Such a bear. When you go and you want to use your bike that you haven't used in years, or maybe you just put it away for the winter and now spring is here, it's time to get out. It's time to bicycle. And the tires are completely flat.
Why does that happen?
Pump those puppies up, and sometimes you go, oh, there's a hole in this. So you got to go and you got to get a tube and put it in there. Then you hear about some of these fancy tubeless tires. So those are kind of nice. They're expensive, but they're kind of nice. Now NASA comes out with their own version of tubeless tires. You don't even have to use air in these things whatsoever.
How does it work?
Well, it's the same thing that's on the rover right now on Mars.
That kind of makes sense, because if rover has a flat tire, what you gonna do?
Who's going to pump that thing up?
Who's going to do that? No.
It's kind of crazy. So now they're making tires for bicycles that you and I could possibly get one day. I mean, and the thing is wicked wild. It looks like wire mesh. It's really springy type of material. And so when you go over something, like if you go through a pothole, you go over a stick or something like that, it will kind of mold itself to that thing as it goes over it. But you're not going to ruin your wheel or anything like that. It's not going to bend anything up. It's really, really durable. And they have these things on some bikes, and you look at it and go, that's just wild. And I'm
So
thinking, since it's NASA, it's going to be pretty expensive.
I was thinking if the tubeless tire is that expensive, these NASA tires are going to be crazy expensive. But
I know.
sounds like it kind of works like shocks in your car, but yet with your tires, right? Because it just sort of
Well,
springs around.
I'm a cyclist, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when you pump these things up, if it's a road cycle, it's a really small tire, but you've got to have these things at a certain pressure
Like
per. I'm not going to try to explain it all, but you've
just the
got to have
tire
it pumped
pressure.
up to a
Yeah.
certain pressure. So PSI is what the initials are. Anyway, so you have it pumped up to that certain amount, and if it goes lower than that, or if it's more than that, it's not going to be efficient for you while you're going down the road. You always have to have it, but this thing will know what it needs to be, and it will stay at it. I mean, you take a look at the rover. That thing's going, super high speeds throughout Mars.
Right. And they have to be durable. So I think even though they are probably going to be really expensive, it might be worth it.
Yeah, so we'll see. It won't be worth it for me because I don't have that kind of time.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Dustin says and admits it that he is a mama's boy. He said, I have no problem saying anything like that. And here to prove it, Dustin cooks his mom breakfast every single morning. Has for years, like for decades, has done this. His mom was diagnosed with terminal bladder cancer last year. One thing she's always wanted to do is she's wanted to visit Egypt. I mean, that's just something, it's expensive to go to Egypt. So that was just never in their pocketbook range. They could not afford to do that. So Dustin said, he sat back and he's like, okay, my mom has this terminal diagnosis. There's got to be something I can do about it. Well, he likes to cook, and so he thought, I make a mean cheesecake, not cheesecake, cheesesteak. I make a mean one. I think I'm gonna start selling these things and get the money, raise the money, and I'm gonna take my mama to Egypt. He did it.
No.
He didn't only do that. Like people around the neighborhood started hearing this story. And so they would text him and order some, and they would show up, and they would word of mouth, right? He ends up being able to take 14 other family members. They're going to Egypt. It's scheduled for later on this year. So yeah, that is a determined, as he says, mama's boy.
He is a mama's boy. And make her dinner every night, and now everybody else's dinner, to the point that he can afford 14 people plus mom to
Yeah.
take this trip around the world, just about.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he didn't even have a restaurant, nothing like that. So he was making this. He said, I don't have a restaurant, but I got a grill. I got a kitchen.
Come on.
And so he used what he had at his fingertips. He is making this happen for his mama. I love this story.
Now I want one of these things.
Right?
I'm getting hungry. I want one of these cheesesteak things.
Okay, you get the cheesesteak. I want the trip to Egypt. There we go. We
Okay,
both
well,
want it.
evidently he can raise the support for it, so you just might be going, Liz.
His morning crew.
Thinking about Scott, because Scott's won some money. I'm thinking, what is Scott going to spend all this money on? Because he won at the Wheel of Fortune, and he won, you probably saw this, $145,000.
On Wheel of Fortune?
I'm thinking, will he pay off his house? Will he get a new car? Will he do some bills? Is he going to build a pool in the backyard? What's this guy going to do? Scott said, I ain't going to keep a dime of it.
What's he doing?
Not a dime. I'm going to give it away to two charities. One is called Uplift Family Services. The other one is Los Angeles Regional Food Bank. Both are very important to him. He's not like, I could use the cash, but I'd rather give it away. So he gave every single dime of the $145,000 that he just won on Wheel of Fortune. Scott gave it all away.
That's wild. But I think at least I think I know people in my life that would do something like that. Like you're like, it wouldn't surprise you if they took $145,000 and didn't keep any of it for themselves. And those are great people to know.
It is. It is. I think, would I do the same thing? I'd give some away, but
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got some stuff I got to pay off, you know?
Right. I
So
think
I
most
know
people
I'd be a
would be
little
like that.
selfish. Maybe that's not selfish, but, because you still got to pay bills.
Right. That's
That
more
kind of thing.
practical than selfish. But what he did, man, that is completely selfless. And those are very special people that do that.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if you're into this, but my wife has been coloring a bunch. She's got some of these, for lack of a better way to put it, adult coloring books where it has all these paisley kind of things and very fine lines. And really, I couldn't do it. It would look horrible. But she puts them on display in our house, and it looks great. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Wait, does she put them up on your refrigerator with magnets? Because if so, I love this.
Yeah, no, we actually have a board. It looks like a shiplap kind of board that's on our wall, and it has a wire with clips on it, not like clothespin clips, but something very similar, and then puts them up on that. And so she does it for, seasons of the year. Like we have Easter that's coming up, so it's all Easter type of themes.
I love that. And if you haven't tried coloring as an adult, it is a stress reliever. I think it kind of makes the memories of when you were a child and carefree and without responsibility. And it's just, I love to color.
Well, that's what she does. She does it for a stress release every afternoon. It keeps her mind sharp, too, because you're thinking as you're going through all these colorings.
Exactly.
Me, I'm just gelled out on the couch, watching my sci-fi stuff.
Hey, we all have our ways to relieve stress, but
that's my coloring.
If you are looking for a stress reliever, we do have a downloadable printable Easter egg, and we, have been really touting that it's for the kids, but it's for you too. I want to print one for myself and color it this afternoon, but you can get that for free. Just text in the word egg to 800-447-7234.
His morning crew.
We're hearing from Hannah. Hannah, what are you going to be doing coming up this Easter weekend?
Visiting my mother.
You sound super excited over this.
No, I'm thrilled. I'm very thrilled. We are spending the spring break week and visiting my mom, like I said, and then going down to Florida to visit with my mother-in-law. So it's all great.
Oh, you got a lot of driving to do coming up.
A lot, yes.
How in the world are you going to pass the time?
Chilling with his radio and singing with the kids.
Gotta like that.
Yeah.
Chilling with the His Radio app that you can download for free, Google Play and the App Store. Hannah, you're like awesome.
She is. She is probably one of the coolest moms because she's taking the time Wednesday before her trip to say, here are the things that I need to be doing to get us through this trip.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
All Helen wanted was some pretty flowers. She wanted daffodils. She ordered daffodils. I don't know if you knew this. You can order flowers now. So the delivery came in while she wasn't home. So her husband thought, I'm going to take care of her delivery. So he opens the box. He sees what he thinks is something that needs to go into the refrigerator. Well, Helen comes home. She's like, did I get a delivery, of some flowers? Did my flowers come in? Nope. Got no flowers. Okay. 3 days later, she found them in the refrigerator because her husband thought they were spring onions.
I can see that.
Only if he just looked at the stems.
That's something my wife would send me out for, and I couldn't find. I remember when she asked me to look for these sticked kind of onions.
I mean,
because the daffodils are not bloomed.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can see the onions, to me, they don't look anything alike. However, if you say green onions, I can see where that's confused with spring onions because they're basically the same thing. Or scallions. If I send you to get scallions, you're going to be looking and they might say spring
Listen,
onions.
Amy sent me for scallions once to the grocery store.
Oh, no.
I literally was looking in where you buy fish. Because I was thinking scallops.
Oh.
Scallops. Maybe it was the same thing. I don't know. So literally, I had no idea that was an onion.
That recipe went way wrong real fast.
Yeah.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Let's talk about KFC.
Okay.
Because you got the original chicken, you've got the crispy chicken, you've got the chicken sandwich, you got the chicken, you got the big chicken, the little chicken, all the chickens. They're chicken
nugs.
Mm-hmm. And now Meals on Wheels with
What?
KFC.
What?
Yeah, they've teamed up with some Meals on Wheels, and so they have promised the nonprofit 1 million pieces of chicken for Meals on Wheels to help feed those who are in need.
That is so Cool. I mean, it's going to help everybody involved because they have volunteers that go in and, of course, prepare those meals. And then you take them out to people in need, the vulnerable and the elderly. And I bet they would love to have some KFC.
One thing you don't know about Liz, because she does a lot in the community. She should win one of those community awards, honestly.
Nope.
Listen, the TV station that does the community award, nominate Liz Riles. You know what she
No.
does? And she just does it without telling anybody. She and her son goes out to Meals on Wheels. What, once a month?
Well, we're kind of a fill-in because it is during, my work time. But when they call and say we need somebody to fill in on this route, yep, Hayden and I jump in the car when we can.
Look at that. That's Liz Riles doing stuff that you don't even know. So when I saw Meals on Wheels and KFC, I'm like, gotta brag on Liz here. Because Liz does this kind of stuff in the community all the time. It's amazing.
Mm. I like, I don't know what to say there, but thank you.
That was the
That's
goal, to
sweet.
make her speechless. Did we succeed?
Which is rare.